Good afternoon.
Let's see, where are we going to start today?
So this is number 8, Ms. Crocker.
What happened? Hold on.
Tell me again, please.
Ms. Crocker, I think this is number 8.
It's not yours. Why is it right next to you?
Hey, Mr. Howard, how are you?
That was the recorded announcement on Ms. Crocker's page.
Okay.
Oh, she's number 5 today.
Yeah, she's number 5. Ms. Crocker, Mr. Howard is in the courtroom with me on that case.
Yes, and just on yesterday, Ms. Mincy had asked, because Ms. Crocker had indicated to both of our attorneys yesterday that she wanted to proceed, but they didn't want our representation. Judge Mincy had asked that I have a conversation with her and to make sure that that was her decision and it was reset to today for that purpose. I did speak with Ms. Crocker just a little bit ago, and she is very clear that she still wishes to proceed pro se and does not want, appointed counsel. So I just wanted to make the court aware of that, so the court be aware. I mean, it appears to be noted voluntarily from my conversation with her, but I just needed to make that announcement before I head up to a different calendar.
Okay, so basically, the officer spoken with you. Ms. Crocker would like to proceed pro se. I mean, she was given a bond yesterday.
Yes, she was. Evidently, after the announcement yesterday that she didn't want our services, the Judge Mincy did set bond and otherwise handle the case as it normally would have. She set it to today, I guess, so the court will feel comfortable that that was what she wanted to do. I can only assume that's why she did it, but she is still, that is still her decision. So at this point, needs to be done. Other than I did see a filing, I believe that Ms. Falk sent. I don't know if the court has signed it, a request potentially, and that may alter where the case goes.
Can you hear Mr. Howard? Ms. Falk?
Yes, Your Honor.
You hear Ms. You can hear, just want to make sure that.
I can hear him fine, Your Honor.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yes, and I believe I saw an order that Ms. Falk copied our office on that she may have filed requesting it for potential evaluation. So if that is signed, then obviously it can go to the competency calendar. Otherwise, I guess it would just need to go to the SAP calendar.
Okay, and what type, I don't have that before me, Ms. Falk.
Your Honor, it was an MHET that the court agreed to sign after speaking with the defendant and hearing her assessment of the events.
Okay, and that has been signed by someone else?
That was sent to Ms. Bridgewater. Unfortunately, apparently my email did not send until this morning, but Ms. Bridgewater said she will have Judge Mincy sign it.
And Judge Mincy said he's coming over this way today.
Okay,
Okay.
all right, thank you, Mr. Howard. I appreciate it.
All right, no problem.
Given that Ms. Crocker was handled yesterday, she was issued a bond. There's been an MHET that has been signed. I don't see what we have to do further with Ms. Crocker today.
I think Judge Mincy's hopes and the court's hopes from yesterday were that perhaps after speaking to Mr. Howard today, either she would wish to have his representation going forward, or we would just go forward with the previous ruling from the court from yesterday.
Okay, thank you. Just hold on for me, Mr. Howard, I'm sorry. Ms. Crocker, I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar. We are conducting this calendar today by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so it's been my understanding that you were before a judge yesterday, that you wish to proceed pro se, meaning that you wish to represent yourself. You were offered the opportunity to have the public defender represent you. And it's my understanding that you declined that. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you continue to decline the services of the public defender. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Crocker. As such, a bond has already been set in your matter, and your case will be set till the next to the next calendar. Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Howard.
Thank you, Judge.
You also, Ms. Crocker.
So are we gonna?
We know that for a second.
And I guess it'll be set to the competency calendar, given that an MHE will be signed by Judge Mincy.
Okay.
Okay? All right. Have a good afternoon. Who do we have next?
Number 10, Ms. Hilliard.
Good afternoon, Ms. Hilliard. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
No.
Good afternoon, Mr. Dudley.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
You can proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. This incident occurred on August 8th of 2022 at 155 Honeycutt Street. The victim, Travis Kirkland, common spelling, came over to 155 Honeycutt Street to drop off clothes for him and the defendant's child, Colin Kirkland, who was 3 months at the time. While there, he asked to see and hold Colin. While holding Colin, the defendant and Mr. Kirkland got into a verbal argument. The defendant got physical with Mr. Kirkland and hit him in the eye. When officers arrived, Officers White, Gaines, and Marshall observed a visible bruise under Mr. Kirkland's left eye. And a dual arrest did occur, but Mr. Kirkland is not on the calendar today. So the state is recommending a $4,000 surety bond. The breakdown of that is $3,000 for the battery, family violence, $1,000 for child cruelty, a stay away from the incident location, no further contact with Mr. Kirkland, a third-party transfer, and no drugs or alcohol or weapons while out on bond. Nothing further from the state.
I'm sorry, was Mr. Kirkland also detained?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Mr. Dudley. Good afternoon, Ms. Kim. Is this your case?
Hillary,
Yes, position number 10.
yes, this is my case, Your Honor. Miss Hillary is 19 years old, Your Honor, and she does not reside with illicit victim, or we call him complaining witness. It was purely self-defense. However, he's also actually arrested together, but he's not in the hearing or calendar today, but he will be probably tomorrow or something. They don't live together. However, they have a 3-month-old baby. And Your Honor, my client is actually breastfeeding her baby, and it really is crucial for her to return and feed the baby. And she is recommended for signature on bond by pre-trial services. And she has no job right now. She only has a self-employment as a hairstylist. So her job, if she doesn't work, she doesn't make any money, Your Honor. He graduated from high school, and she has ties to the community. She's not a danger to the or threat to anybody else. And we would like to request for signature on bond.
So the Honeycutt Drive address, Ms. Kim, is that her address or is that Mr. Kirkland's address?
It is her address, Your Honor. It's mom. She resides with mom and baby at 155 Honeycutt Drive. Mr. Travis does not live there.
Okay. So it's going to be for the battery, a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial, for the cruelty, a $1,000 signature bond through pretrial, makes it a total of a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial, 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with Travis Kirkland, third-party transfer of the minor child, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you,
All right.
Your Honor.
Good luck to you, Ms. Hilliard.
Here's good number 18, Mr. Selwyn.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. J. Thomas Salata for Mr. Selwyn.
Good afternoon, Mr. Salata. Hope you're well.
Thank you, Your Honor. I hope you are too.
Thank you. Let's see. Good afternoon, Mr. Selwyn. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 22 CR 005286C with obstruction of a law enforcement officer, loitering and prowling, and driving under the influence of alcohol less safe. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
7 total. Last arrest was 2013, impersonating an officer, 2 counts, and 1 count terroristic threats. Those were dismissed. He had a 2011 DUI conviction, a 2011 DUI arrest that was dismissed out of Tybee. That's it as far as DUIs.
Okay, who's presenting for the state?
Hello, Your Honor. This is Lee Reed for the state.
Good afternoon, Ms. Reed. You can proceed.
Okay, this offense date took place August 8th. The location was 11730 Jones Bridge Road, Johns Creek, Fulton County. Officers noticed the defendant in his car parked at the incident location where the businesses were closed. Officers suspected the defendant had been drinking and asked him to get out of the car. However, he did refuse. As you know, the state has had 2 previous DUIs arrests, but however, just 1 conviction. The state is asking for a $3,000 surety bond on the DUI, a $500 surety bond on the obstruction, and a $500 surety bond on the loitering and prowl. No drugs and alcohol weapons while out on bond, and must complete a drug and alcohol evaluation and treatment class. Nothing further from the state.
Mr. Salata?
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, Andrew Selwyn is 30 years of age. He has a degree in cybersecurity. He resides in Alpharetta, Georgia with his parents, Rory and Lisa. Rory is also present in the Zoom conference. Mr. Selwyn, been a member of the state bar for 34 years. And Andrew has been a lifelong resident of the state of Georgia. He's never really been convicted. I don't know about that 2011 DUI conviction. I know that there was one case in 2011 where it was a DUI in Tybee Island or around Savannah, Chatham County, and that was dismissed. Then there was a 2013 arrest, and that was dismissed as well. So he's never been convicted of anything other than a minor traffic offense. And those they have a little bit of age on him. He is not likely to commit another a crime while admitted to bond. He's never done that. He's always responded to judicial court process. So the likelihood of him not appearing in court is very, very low, very high. He will be in court. His dad's a member of the bar. I've known this young man since he was 17 years old. Judge, I'm asking the court to enter a signature bond so that we can answer these charges in the appropriate courtroom.
Okay, anything further? Ms. Reed?
No, Your Honor, nothing further from the state.
All right, for the obstruction, a $500 good bond. For the loitering, a $500 good bond. For the DUI, a $1,000 good bond, makes for a total of a $2,000 good bond. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor. And Your Honor, I just wanted to confirm, it looks like that sentence was out of Johns Creek Municipal Court in 2011 for that DUI, and he was given 12 months probation, 40 hours community service.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Falk. All right, good luck to you, Mr. Selwyn.
Thank you, Your Honor. Next, we got 17, Mr. Sabino.
Your Honor, that concludes my business. May be excused.
Yes, have a good afternoon. Good to
Thank
see
you. Nice to see you again.
You also. Good afternoon, Mr. Sabino. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. You have been charged in case 22 CR 005285C with theft by conversion. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
12 total. Last arrest was November 2021. Battery DV, probation out of Clayton County. He was convicted for the battery DV. 2020 DUI NOLO. 2019 failure to appear for misdemeanor possession of marijuana and interference with government property. 2018, he was arrested for obstruction and tampering with evidence. 2018 FTA for marijuana. 2017 ag assault strangulation arrest. Possession of a Schedule 4 and misdemeanor possession of marijuana conviction from 2017 out of Brookhaven. He pled no to simple battery in 2016 with the marijuana and interference with government property. 2013 theft by taking conviction out of DeKalb State Court. That's it.
Ms. Reed?
Thank you, Your Honor. This is an incident that occurred on August 8th, 2022, location 91 Roswell Court in Fulton County. The victim is the defendant's mother. Her name is Marie, that's spelled M-A-R-I, Perez Garcia, common spelling. And the day before, on the 7th, Ms. Perez Garcia gave the defendant $540 for him to give to his father because he was in the process of being deported. Out of the funds, the defendant used the money for gas, and he kept $300 for himself, and he gave his father $200. The officer was called, and Ms. Perez Garcia said she still wanted to press charges against her son for these charges. The state is asking for a $1,000 surety bond, and because of his previous arrests, we're also asking for a no further contact with his mother, a stay away from her house, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond. Nothing further from the state.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Ms. McLeod.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. My client is 28 years old. He has been living in the state of Georgia for almost all his lifetime. He currently works. He is employed in the restaurant industry. He tells me he has a full-time job as a cook, and he also works as a pastry chef in another restaurant. He is the father of 3 children, 2 daughters, who are 5 years old and 7 years old, and a son who is almost 12 years old, Your Honor. He denies the allegations as stated by the prosecutor. He said his mom gave him some money to take to his dad, who is in a facility, to be deported. And he gave his father $200, and he put the other $300 in the bank. He was trying to explain to his mom that he put the $300 in the bank because Capital One had an offer that if you open a new account, they would add an extra $100 to the account, but you had to keep it open for a certain period of time. He was trying to explain to his mom that that is what he had done with the money, and he had all the paperwork. But because she was a little distrustful of the banking situation and unfamiliar with it, she felt like he had used this money. And, he had not. In fact, he says he does have all the paperwork to show what he did with that $300, Your Honor. He did not, in fact, take it. He said he would not take money from his mother like that, especially when it was for his dad, who is in this facility to be deported, Your Honor. I know that he has some history, but most of the history is unrelated to this. And this is something, as I said, it's with his mom, and he had a good explanation as to what had really happened. He really is not in a position to post bond, Your Honor, so I would ask the court to consider giving him a signature bond so that he can get out. He is okay with not going back to his mom's house because he thinks that perhaps a little period away between them until she understands what is going on might be a good thing.
Okay, it's going to be a $3,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from 91 Roswell Court. No further contact with Mari Perez Garcia, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Sabino.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Number 21, Mr. Thomas.
Yes, and I left the hotel.
Good afternoon, Mr. Thomas. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Thomas, you've been charged in case 22 CR 005289F for simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
This second arrest. Last arrest was back in May for battery DV. That's open 22 CR 003-337F. That's a $3,000 pretrial bond. I think this is the one you signed.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Howard. Good afternoon, Ms. Johnson. Is this your case?
Yes, Your Honor.
You can proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. The date of offense of this case is August 8th, 2022, with the incident location being 714 Home Street Northwest, Atlanta, Georgia. Your Honor, this case occurred when the defendant grabbed the arms of Mrs. Ashanti Petit to prevent her from leaving the apartment. They do live together and share a minor child. As pretrial has stated, there is an open case 22 CR 00-33374, and Mrs. Petit is the victim. And I'm sorry, I did not spell her name. Her first name is Ashanti, Ashanti, last name Petit, Petite. Mr. Thomas had a 3,000 signature bond through pretrial services, and he was ordered to have no further violent contact in that order by you, Your Honor. For that reason, moving forward, I'd ask that this bond be a $1,500 cash bond, stay away from incident location, and no further contact. It is also my understanding that Ms. Petit might be on the Zoom.
Thank you.
Yes, Your Honor.
Let's see, Ms. McLeod, would you like, is this your case?
It is my case, Your Honor, and I would like Ms. Petit to speak first.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, Ms. Petit. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. If you would like to address the court regarding this matter, if you'd raise your right hand for me. Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay, you can put your hand down, ma'am. What would you like to tell the court?
I just wanted to tell the court that as far as the situation that occurred, there was no violent contact. It was, honestly, I feel like it was just a misunderstanding. He did grab my arm while I was trying to walk out the door, but I didn't feel threatened by him. I also did not call the police on him or anything like that. I believe the police was stopped by somebody else that we didn't even know. And like I said, I don't feel threatened by him, and I don't mind if he sees his child. We do share a home together. He works as well as I do. We work 2 different jobs, both of us. And also, I have been going through a lot. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't think you guys can see me. I've been going through a lot with my child and financial stuff as far as my apartment. So right now, that's what we're trying to work on and get together financially. So we don't really have any money saved up or anything for a bond. So I guess that's all, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Johnson or Mr. Howard, normally if I do a no further violent contact, I also order anger management. Did I order anger management in this case?
I think so. I wrote it down. Hold on. Yeah, 1 day anger management.
Was that completed?
Oh, that I don't know.
Okay, but if it's completed, you all do get some type of record that they completed it, right?
They should, yeah. Let me contact his pretrial person real quick, and I'll let you know.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Ms. McLeod, you can go ahead.
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 21 years old. As Ms. Petit has stated, they share a child. The child is 1.5 years. And they both take care of this child and they both work. My client tells me that, as Ms. Petit said, he did not have any violent contact with her. They just held on to her arm, and she, as she stated, she did not feel threatened at all. She did not call the police. For some reason, someone else may have called the police. They may have heard them talking. It sometimes happens, Your Honor. But this was not a situation where my client was trying to attack Ms. Petit or anything. They continue to live together and to take care of this child. He works. He tells me that he works at Waffle House, and they're both trying to focus on working and taking care of their little boy. So I would ask the court to take that into consideration in setting his bond, Your Honor. He doesn't have any money to pay. it like a cash bond or a surety bond because he really is struggling. He's trying to get more hours at his job. He tells me he works at Waffle House. So I would ask the court to give him a signature bond considering what Ms. Petit has said and what the warrant alleges. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. McLeod. Ms. Johnson, do you have the police report?
I do not, Your Honor. But I would like to state, the state does have concerns that Ms. Petit did not contact police. The fact that a third party saw fit to call police, and there are previous cases with Your Honor before with the same activity.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, he was given the opportunity by me one time before, and that something allegedly happened on the street is of concern. You have anything for me, Mr. Howard?
He said he was supposed to take it this upcoming Friday, but since he got rearrested.
Okay. Anything to add, Ms. Falk?
I do, Your Honor. I was going back through the notes in May of this year from the earlier incident. And according to our victim advocate, when she spoke to Ms. Petit stated the defendant usually only gets into verbal arguments, but rarely physical ones. And she again stated she did not fear the defendant and wanted no violent contact. And we are back here again.
Right. Anything further, counsel?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, it's going to be a $2,000 good bond, no further contact with Ashanti Petit, stay away from 714 Home Street. He can go back to that location on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings that he might have there. There's to be a third-party transfer of any minor children and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, that concludes my business before the court today. May I be excused?
Yes, good to see you, Ms. McLeod. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
All right, yeah, position number one, Mr. Baskerville.
The state is requesting a breakout room for this case, Your Honor.
Okay, position one, Mr. Baskerville, and good afternoon, Ms. Duncan. So this is your case, Ms. Gant.
Yes, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. Let's see, Ms. Falk, Ms. Gant, Ms. Duncan, and myself. Anyone else need to go into the room?
Yes, Your Honor. If I may request Ms. ASG Reed and ASG Johnson also be in attendance.
Yes, and I believe that position number 4, we're going to need a breakout room for it. I was advised. So why don't we do all this at the same time? Who's going to be presenting for 4? Mr. Collins.
I will be, Your Honor.
Okay, so let's go in, Ms. Johnson also into the breakout room. Is Mr. Collins your client also, Ms. Gant?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so we'll handle both of those at one time if you don't mind, okay?
Thank you.
All right, so Ms.
Janelle.
Okay, we are back on we've had a discussion regarding Mr. Baskerville with counsel. The bond is going to be a $500 good bond on each charge, which makes it a total of a $1,500 good bond. There'll be a social worker visit, stay away from Mercedes-Benz Stadium and the Georgia World Congress Center. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. The next state all-purpose calendar is going to be on August 23rd. And I've informed Ms. Gant that once if he's still in custody, once the social worker has an opportunity to speak with Mr. Baskerville, that I will revisit this bond at that time. All right. Good luck to you, sir. Courtroom 2, do we have position number 4, Mr. Collins?
We sure do. Here you go, right here.
All right, good. We've already discussed him also, so.
How you doing, Your Honor?
I'm doing well, Mr. Collins. Good afternoon. We've also had an opportunity to discuss your case while you were in the breakout room, while we were in the breakout room. Mr. Collins, you've been charged in case 22 CR 005273D with simple battery family violence. Let's see, is Miss Takira Jackson on the line? I see you there, Miss Jackson.
How you doing, Your Honor? I'm here.
I'm doing well, Miss Jackson. Can you raise your right hand for me?
Yes, sir.
You swear on the testimony you're about to give before this court is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down, Ms. Jackson. So I know this allegedly occurred back in December of last year. Have you all been living together since that time?
We have been back living together, yes, sir. We're currently in a new home right now, and it's been a lot going on, honestly. My boyfriend, we lost his mom last year. And we were pregnant last year. We had I ended up giving birth early and our son passed away. So we've been dealing with a lot, and we actually already had counseling through family members. Everything was worked out. And it was really just a simple misunderstanding that day. It should have never went this far. And me and him don't have any history of domestic violence. I mean, we're kids, we're young. And I'm kind of shaking up now, like I don't do the legal stuff, but I'm definitely a lesson learned, but we have gotten, counsel, and family members have gotten involved. Everybody is good now. And like I said, we are all living together. It's me, him, his sister, her kids, and her other siblings. Again, we're all just trying to pitch in. Again, we're both still grieving. So maybe we do, maybe, and I've been listening to everybody else, maybe we need to go to anger management or talk to people. Because again, we're not bad people and we've never been in this situation before. Just small altercations, never physical. Of course, we both get in each other's faces. We get loud, but I never feel super threatened by this man. I love him to death. He does everything for me. And again, we are currently expecting again. I do believe God give people second chances. So again, I just need him home. It's a lot going on. But whatever we need to do, but he's not a bad guy at all, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Jackson. You're not afraid of him?
No, not at all. Heck, no,
Okay.
sir.
Okay.
No.
And you want him back in the household?
And I need to know because, and like I said, we're pulling together as a family. And as of right now, his older sister is currently away on business. So me and him are actually responsible for watching her 2 kids. So the plate is on me heavy right now. I have her 2 kids and their 12-year-old autistic brother. So it's a lot right now. My father-in-law is actually at the house now. Been helping us out with everything. And like I said, I thought we were done with this case on last year. I did speak with 2 different detectives, I guess. And I explained to them what happened. And I, begged if y'all could just please hear my side and just drop everything. And again, me and this man don't have no history. I promise you will not see us back in here. And again, if you want to, we'll keep in touch if you want to give you up. But this is already.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson. So we've already had a discussion regarding this case. With counsel. It's going to be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial, 1-day anger awareness, no further violent contact with Mrs. Jackson, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. So I'm giving you the opportunity to get out, but you're going to have to make sure, Mr. Collins, that you come and appear for your next hearing, and that nothing else happens in the interim. Okay.
Okay, sorry, one more time. So he is going to be out. He's getting a signature bond, you said?
Yes, ma'am. He's getting a signature bond. Okay.
Signature bond of 3,000. So how long do I have to wait to pick him up or release? And do I have to pay, or again, it's just, because I don't know about this. I'm trying to make sure.
No, man, he's getting a signature bond, and he will get out as soon as the jail can process him out. I cannot tell you when that is at this point in time.
So, okay. And of course, they'll give him a phone call when it is time for me to come down and get him.
That I don't know. Ms. Gant?
I'm happy to call Miss Jackson to go over the specifics.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Gant. We appreciate that.
Baby, I love you. I'm gonna see you later, okay? I love you. We're gonna be good.
All right, who do we have next?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Make this up. Who's next?
Number 3, Mr. Burrow. Burrell or Burrow?
Good afternoon, Mr. Burrell. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Burrell, you've been charged in case 22 CR 005272E with battery. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
15 total. Last arrest was September 2021 for a suspended license. He has history out of the state of California. Got a 2015 parole violation, 2018 battery, DV. I don't have a disposition for that one. I'm gonna put this one in the chat for you for 2009, from 2009. But that's all.
Thank you, Ms. Reed.
Thank you, Your Honor. This incident took place actually February 22nd, 2022, and the defendant was picked up on August 8th, 2022. The victim in this case is a Mr. Bradley, and I'll try to pronounce the last name, is Jerzowski, and that's spelled Jeziovowski. The location of the incident was in a warehouse where both of the parties worked. The address is 3515 Atlanta Industrial Parkway. The defendant was a contractor at Mr. Jerzowowski's place of employment, and an argument started over the way the defendant's truck was being loaded. The defendant began yelling and cussing at the victim and told him to leave the property, and he was told to leave the property before a supervisor was called. The defendant hit Mr. Jerzowski with a closed fist several times on the back of the head, causing visible injuries, and coworkers had to jump in and stop the attack. The defendant fled the scene at a high rate of speed, and the law enforcement, they were notified immediately after, and they came out to the scene on March 1st, 2022, and reviewed video footage of the attack. The defendant lacks community ties, and most of his history up until 2020 is actually in California. The state is asking for a $5,000 surety bond, no further contact with the victim, and a stay away from the warehouse.
Okay.
And I just to add, I'm sorry, he does have a I'm just want to make sure this is on the record, 2010 California assault conviction, and then arrest of battery in 2018, as well as 2020 battery in California. Nothing further from the state.
Thank you, Ms. Reed. Ms. Gant.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. James Burrell is 32 years old. He has been in the Atlanta, Georgia area for 2 years. He is married and has been so for 7 years. He is the proud father of 5 children. All of his children live with him in the home. He has 2 sets of twins, ages 14 and 6, and also an additional 4-year-old. We are unopposed to any no further contact and stay away orders. Mr. Burwell earned a high school diploma. He is currently employed, has been self-employed for the past 10 years. He founded a company, GCS Worldwide. He informs me that his wife is not working at this time, and On the day of this incident, Your Honor, no, let me back up. On the day that my client was arrested, he informs me that he, in fact, called the police because he was involved in a motor vehicle accident while delivering supplies. He was unable to complete that delivery. He did not know about the warrant, and his wife has been communicating to him that their customers are inquiring about those orders that have not been delivered. So of course, his business is at risk here. Now, I acknowledge my client's history. However, I would bring to the court's attention that I heard that he has no recent convictions for violence. Regarding this incident, Mr. Burrell offers a competing version. The warrant reads that the complaining witness stated that my client followed him and struck him in the warehouse. However, my client informs me that, and the camera confirms that this incident happened near my client's truck. He was acting in self-defense. He states that Mr. Jarawowski used racial slurs, including the N-word. He states that Mr. Burrell states that he was trying to de-escalate and leave. He states that Mr. Jarawowski swung at him and he basically was defending himself. He is recommended for a signature bond. I'm asking the court for a signature bond on Mr. Barrow's behalf. And again, we are unopposed to the no further contact and stay away orders. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, so it's going to be a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial per the judge, 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with the alleged victim, stay away from the incident location, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. All right, good luck to you, Mr. Burrell.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Anger awareness?
Good.
You said anger awareness?
Hey, Mr. O'Neill?
Yes, Mr. Howard. Tell me again, courtroom 2, who we have next?
Mr. O'Neill? Signature bond.
Good afternoon, Mr. O'Neill. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir. How you doing today, sir? Your Honor?
I'm doing well, Mr. O'Neill. Thank you. Hold on for me. You've been charged in case 22 CR 005283C with simple assault, criminal trespass, and damage to property. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Yeah, I gotta put one in the chat for you though.
Okay.
10 total. Last arrest was back in July for shoplifting. Got an open simple battery obstruction. Out of state court, that's 20 CR 001591C. That's 2 counts of simple battery. Obstruction, trespass, damage to property. Got an open shoplifting, possession of drug-related objects. On probation for ag assault, burglary, 11 SC 102632. And the charge I'm gonna put in the chat goes with the ag assault and burglary.
Okay. Thank you. Ms. Reed?
Thank you, Your Honor. Date of the incident was on August 8th, 2022 at the Chevron store at 180 University Avenue. The defendant threw a 3-inch screw and bolt at the victim, Mr. I'll spell after I pronounce it, Tibu, spelled Tibebebu, and the last name is Behon, Behonegn. And once he threw the 3-inch screw, it hit towards Mr. Behon. It hit the pizza stand and it broke the glass. Apparently, the defendant was upset because Mr. Behon had asked him to leave the store. Officer came and surveyed the video, and he saw the defendant later steal some merchandise totaling less than $10,000. The defendant has had multiple arrests, and he is at a risk of reoffending. Currently, there is a $1,500 surety bond, but the state is requesting that we increase it to a total $3,000 surety bond, with $2,000 for the assault charge and $1,000 for the criminal trespass charge. State's also asking for a stay away and no further contact with the victim.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. O'Neill is 26 years old And he has been here in Georgia for last 5 years, and he has one child who is 2 years old. He has no employment at this point, and he is currently residentially challenged. So I am actually asking for social worker services to have a visit along with behavioral health evaluation so he can get some appropriate help. Because of his financial situation, he's not able to afford any bond at this point. So we would like to request for signature on bond. And yet, if your honor is not inclined to give him a signature on bond because of all these histories, we would like to request for maximum $1,000 surety bond. Thank you.
All right, it's going to be a $2,000 good bond for the simple assault, a $1,000 good bond for the criminal damage to property, which makes it a total of a $3,000 good bond. Stay away from the Chevron at 180 University Avenue. No further contact with the alleged victim, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. O'Neill.
Next, we have number 19, Ms. Smith.
Good afternoon, Ms. Smith. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. You've been charged in case 22 CR 005287E with simple battery. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Sir, 11 adult arrests. Last was February 2021 for battery DV. And the victim was Sharif Chapman in that one. 2019 failed to appear. 2012 FTA for battery. 2012 probation violation, robbery. 2012, she got first offender for robbery and battery and theft by taking. That's it. Yeah, that's it.
The battery DV from 2021, is that open?
That's a conviction.
Oh, that's conviction? Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
bad. I meant to state that. Yeah, that's a conviction.
Oh, you might have said that, Mr. Howard. I just,
I don't think I did.
okay, all right, thank you. Ms. Johnson?
Yes, Your Honor. The date of offense is August 8th, 2022. The location being 2025 Tigers Flower Drive, Northwest Atlanta, Georgia. The defendant came to Mr. Chapman's home. The victim in this case is Mr. Sharif Chapman, spelling SHAREEF, last name Chapman, CHAPMEN. The defendant came to Mr. Chapman's home requesting their child's belongings. The two of them got into a verbal dispute. Mr. Chapman took Ms. Smith's keys in an effort, Mr. Chapman took Ms. Smith's keys in an effort to de-escalate the situation. He tried to return her property. She then pushed Mr. Chapman and spit in his hat. The altercation became physical and Mr. Chapman sustaining injuries, including a bite mark to his side and scratches on his arms. Ms. Smith was found by the officers to be the primary aggressor. The defendant pled to battery and 2 counts of simple battery family violence, with Mr. Chapman being the victim that was mentioned by pretrial. As part of the plea in front of Judge Morrison, the defendant is still under probation on this case, and she was ordered to have no contact with Mr. Sharif Chapman. Your Honor, for those reasons, I will be asking for a $3,000 cash bond, a stay away from the incident location, no further contact, third-party transfer for any children, and a 1-day anger awareness.
Thank you. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. We would like to request for $1,000 current bond to remain as set. It is a surety bond right now. And she is 31 years old and she does not reside together with Mr. Sharif. And so stay away is okay. No further contact, absolutely okay. However, they share one child, 9 months old, and my client has custody for both, the children. She has been here in Georgia for 31 years. She was born and raised. 2 children she has, 9 years old and 9 months old. They are, she has a full custody of both of them. And at this point, she's not getting any child support from any of the fathers of the children. And of course, Mr. Sheriff has not paid any child support either. She has been homeless. So actually she's staying at the hotel right now with her 2 children. And she got a job March 2022 at nonprofit organization. And she's very excited about this job, and she has to keep this job so she can support her 2 children. And she has to go back to the work tomorrow, Thursday. I mean, she has to report to the court. I mean, not the court, to work, so she doesn't lose her job. And also, she also has to move out from the hotel because tomorrow is the last day for her to stay there. And then she plans to stay with somebody else. I'm actually asking her to have a social worker services visit so that she can get more residential resources, so she can kind of like take care of her children better. We would like to request for signature on bond, and yet since Your Honor has and also, Your Honor, she actually denies the allegation of being first aggressor because of the past history. The officer automatically assumed that she was a first aggressor. However, she's the one who had a bleeding on her top of the head because he pulled out the hair from the head, and they have photos of that. And she really needs to get out of the jail as soon as possible, Your Honor. Thank you.
So, Ms. Kim, were you aware that she's on probation for battery domestic violence against Mr. Chapman?
Yes.
Were you aware that she was to have no further contact with Mr. Chapman?
Yes, Your Honor.
And so if that's the case, if she's on probation, then she's in violation of that stay away, regardless of who the first aggressor was, right?
I understand that part.
So that's my concern, is that had she not been in violation of her probation by being around Mr. Chapman, she wouldn't be in the situation that she's in.
If I may, Your Honor?
Yes, Ms. Johnson.
On the same day that she took that plea, she also took a plea to disrupting a public school in a fray. On the same date she took that plea. In addition, Your Honor, she does have previous arrests for simple battery. It's my understanding that those went to PTI, but she has several arrests for battery family violence as well.
Okay, thank you. As such, it's going to be a $2,000 good bond. No further contact with Mr. Chapman. Stay away from the Tigers Flower Drive address. I don't know if she needs a escort there to retrieve any belongings, but I will grant her one with law enforcement if she needs that. There's to be third-party contact for transfer of the minor children, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond, and a social worker visit to assist her with housing. Quite often, people will come before me, Ms. Smith, and they will say that they didn't understand what no contact means. So let me be very clear as far as what no contact with Mr. Chapman means. No contact means no contact whatsoever, no physical contact, no phone contact, no social media contact, no internet contact, no contact whatsoever. If you need to have transfer of the children for visitations, that's going to have to go through a third party that arranges that transaction. All right. Good luck to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Number 20, Ms. Springer.
Good afternoon, Ms. Springer. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Was that yes, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Springer, you've been charged in case 22 CR 005288B with simple battery, family violence, and cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
The 4th arrest, she was literally in court a week ago for simple battery DV. 22 CR 005138B. She has open terroristic threats out of Clayton County. Yeah, you was the judge. You gave her 5,000 SOB jail.
Okay. Ms. Johnson.
Yes, Your Honor. Date of offense is August 8th, 2022. The location being 3329 Old Milton Parkway, Alpharetta, Georgia. Police responded to the location. Mr. Springer, Mr. Kyle, Kyle, Springer, Springer, stated that he and the defendant got into an argument after she accused him of infidelity. The two are married but are separated and share 5 children. Mr. Springer was holding one of their minor children under 1 year old when the defendant, who was holding their 6-month-old child, dropped the 6-month-old to the floor and went towards Mr. Springer, pushing him into the refrigerator and window, leaving visible marks. As pretrial has stated, there is a previous case that came before Your Honor a week ago. Also, the terroristic threats that was in Clayton County, Mr. Springer is the victim of that case as well. Mr. Springer also let the victim advocate know in our office that he was not made aware that the bond was no further contact, that she wasn't supposed to be contacting him. Your Honor, for those reasons, all of her history is mostly with Mr. Springer. I would ask that that bond be a $3,000 surety bond, that she stay away from the incident location. It is my understanding that she may be transient. I'm not sure of her stability and ability to come to court, but I will ask, no matter what location Mr. Springer is or wherever he is, that she stay away from his person. There's no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and third-party transfer for any children. And I believe Mr. Springer may be present on Zoom at this time.
All right, Ms. Kim.
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Springer is 30 years old, and actually I also represented her 1 week ago. So I do remember clearly about the bond condition as well. We had a provision that if her husband is not afraid of her, that, you know, we can modify the bond. I wish she modified the bond before she went there, or she could have gone there with law enforcement officer. And yet we still would like to request for signature on bond because she has no financial resources at this point. She's a full-time mom. She has been a full-time mom from 2019 with 5 children, 9, 7, 2, 1, and 7 months. So we would like, she has been here in Georgia for 15 years. She graduated from high school, and right now she believes that her husband is not afraid of her, and we would like to request for surety bond for less than $1,000, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Springer, I see that you're on the line. You do not have to address the court, but if you would like to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. You'll have to activate your camera for me, and I'll have to swear you in if you would like to address the court. Can you raise your right hand? Would you like to address the court, sir? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You can put your hand down, Mr. Springer. Go ahead.
To be honest, our situation is just a bit complicated. It's more so the mutual friends, I guess, that we choose to keep was a big situation. My wife is definitely not a threat to me, definitely nor to my kids. It's really not a big situation as far as her being set free. I really don't feel threatened. I don't feel like she'll be any harm as well to her kids. I mean, she like she said, she's a full-time mom. The kids love to be around her. Even when she's strict, they love to be around her. It's really not a situation as far as where she will have to, remain within custody. Her son's birthday is on Saturday. He definitely would love for her to be there. Shania is just going through some things right now. Her mother is really not supportive. We have no family out here in Georgia whatsoever, even the extended family out of Chicago and different places like that. No one has been real help. We've been married since 19 years old. So we've been growing with each other, learning each other, trying to figure ways out, really just beyond us. We do have 5 kids. And I'm sure for anybody that's pressurable as far as trying to, make it within today's society with inflation and just different things that's going on. I have 2 kids that's about to start school. I work a full-time job as well as I do live. So Shania being free at any point in time, especially as soon as possible, would definitely be not even only a help out to me, but her kids as well, because education is important. Social services are in the midst of trying to get involved within this situation. And this is not a situation that is really a situation that they need to probably step into, because with Shanae being free, the kids are already well taken care of. Their hygiene is well, schooling, everything, mostly everything that they've learned has come from Shanae, even down to using the restroom. So I can say that definitely between her and I, it's literally just a big misunderstanding. I didn't even call the police. It was a witness nearby. I guess she thought she understood something that she really didn't understand. And with her bias interaction with this whole situation, she decided to amp up a lot of situations. So I would say in my defense, Shanae can be set free today with no problems as far as with on my end. And that's all I have to say.
Okay. So since you're here, Mr. Springer, I saw Ms. Springer not very long ago. And at that point in time, I gave her a signature bond regarding simple battery, domestic violence, that you were the alleged victim on at that time. At the same time, I instructed her not to have any further contact, although I was going to let her out, but she was not to have any further contact. I always explain to people what no further contact means, so I'll explain it to you also while you were both here. And I'm not just concerned about you, I'm concerned about your children also, okay?
Yep.
That you're getting, whether or not you call the police, somebody saw that there was enough ruckus going on that they thought that the police had to be involved. That cannot be a good situation for a child to be in. You understand what I'm saying? So until you guys can resolve whatever it is that's going on with you all, there's to be no further contact. No contact means no contact whatsoever. No physical contact, no phone contact, no social media contact, no contact whatsoever. And I'm mostly concerned about those children regarding this. So you all are going to have to, at some point in time, figure out how you're going to work this out. It's going to be $1,000 good bond on each charge, which is a $3,000 total good bond. No further contact. If there's contact, this bond's going to be pulled right away. She can have, she's to stay away from the Old Milton Parkway address. She can go back to that address on one occasion to retrieve any belongings that she might have there. There's to be third-party transfer of the minor children. Third-party transfer means that you all can't have contact as far as going back and forth with the kids. You have to have a third party arrange for that contact. And Ms. Springer, you're gonna have no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. At some point, I hope that you all, for the children's sake, can get yourselves together with this, okay? Good luck. Sir. Good luck to you, Ms. Springer.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, well, number 16, Mr. Relevant.
I'm sorry, tell me who we have again.
16, Mr. Relevant.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Relaford. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Mr. Relaford, you've been charged in case 22 CR 005284F with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
This second arrest, 2018 misdemeanor possession of marijuana.
All right, thank you. Ms. Reed?
Thank you, Your Honor. This case involves an incident that took place August 8th, 2022 at 785 Magnolia Way Northwest, apartment 1303. The victim in this case is Senquia Swanson, and the defendant and Ms. Swanson live together and they have one child. Officers were dispatched to the scene and they spoke with Ms. Swanson. The defendant had left the scene, so he was not there. Ms. Swanson said the defendant was in a bad mood because he gets aggravated when he does not have marijuana. And she also said they began arguing over body wash and he became verbally aggressive. Ms. Swanson said that the defendant struck her in the eye, and that is why she called the paramedics. The defendant returned to the scene and he was placed into custody. The state is asking for a $3,000 surety bond, a no further contact with Ms. Swanson, a stay away from the incident location, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond, a third-party transfer, and a one-day anger awareness course. Thank you.
Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. He is 21 years old, Your Honor, and he's recommended for a signature on bond. They do live together, Your Honor, and they have one son, 3 years old together, one child. He has been here in Georgia for 21 years, and he missed his interview this morning because he's incarcerated, and he has not had any job for the last 2 to 3 months. So right now he is financially challenged, and he graduated from high school. Stay away from, he believes that Ms. Swanson is not afraid of him. I believe she is here to testify that she's not afraid of him. She wants him to come back home. And yet we would like to make sure that she can testify that. And that's it, Your Honor. We would like to request for signature on bond.
All right, is this Ms. Swanson as the Zoom user?
I believe so.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Ms. Swanson, you're not required to address the court, but if you would like to address the court, I'm happy to hear anything that you would like to tell the court. Would you like to address the court?
Yes, sir. I
Okay,
believe
hold on a second. Can you raise your right hand for me?
Yes.
Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, put your hand down, ma'am. Go ahead.
I believe on August 8th was nothing but a disagreement and small altercation that could have been avoided and stuff. But due to me, it was just like a disagreement and stuff like that. And we usually don't get into fights or nothing. We don't usually fight each other and stuff like that. He's a good person and stuff. And yeah, I believe just at that point, it was his breaking point and stuff like that.
Did you call the police, Ms. Swanson?
I actually called the ambulance and the police came out.
And why did you call an ambulance?
Because I wanted to see about my eye and stuff, and I actually didn't go to the hospital.
Okay, and why did you need to see about your eye?
Because it was hurting.
And why was it hurting?
Because I got hit in my eye.
By whom?
Keyshawn.
Okay. Has this happened before?
No, this is the first time.
All right. Anything further, Ms. Swanson?
No, sir.
Anything further, counsel?
Nothing further.
Nothing further from the state.
All right, Mr. Rutherford doesn't have a history. He's recommended through pretrial. It's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial, 1-day anger awareness, no further violent contact with Ms. Swanson, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Mr. Rutherford, because you don't have a history, I'm giving you a signature bond, but if you come back here, or if you don't show up for your next court date, then you're gonna be right back where you are. You understand, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
That number 7, Mr. Gilbert.
I'm good to go.
Yes, ma'am. Have a good afternoon. Good afternoon, Mr. Gilbert. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Mr. Gilbert, you have been charged in case 22 CR 005275G with loitering and prowling and criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
14 total. Previous 13 come out of Tennessee. Last arrest was 2020, domestic assault conviction. 2020 guilty for vandalism. And domestic assault as well. Same arrest. Got an evading arrest conviction from 2020 also out of Tennessee. 2019 assault domestic related. That was dismissed. What else? 2016 suspended license. simple possession of casual exchange, 2016 probation, 2015 robbery, possession of a controlled substance, 2015 vandalism, 2014 forgery, 2010 disorderly conduct, and a 2009 3 counts of burglary, 2 counts of theft over 500. That's it.
Thank you. Ms. Duncan?
Your Honor, on August the 8th, officers responded to a criminal trespass call at the Core Lindbergh Apartments located at 741 Morosogo Drive Northeast. It was in reference to Unit 2212. When officers arrived, they spoke to the property manager, Mr. Colin Russell. Mr. Russell informed officers that on yesterday, they identified the defendant in this case as a person who had been sleeping in that unit with all of his belongings inside of it. And the circumstances surrounding that were that a family was doing a tour, and when they opened the door, he was in there with all of his belongings. He had been in there apparently for 2 days, Your Honor. The state here has some concerns about the ties to the community and a possible risk of reoffending. Since most of his history is out of Tennessee as recent as 2020, the property manager identified him as likely being homeless. So we do have some concerns that he may not be able to or willing to return to court. I also did locate a 2017 probation violation arrest out of Tennessee as well. There is a current $1,000 surety bond preset for this case. It's my understanding that this defendant is not recommended for pretrial. We're going to request that that bond remain as set at $1,000 total surety. That's $500 per charge, and that this defendant stay away from the incident location, use no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and have no further violations of Georgia law. Nothing further from the state.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Grant, I'm going to give him a signature bond. Does he need to go back to that Morosco Drive address to pick up any of those belongings?
I do not believe so, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, so Mr. Gilbert, it's going to be $1,000 signature bond through the jail for each count, which makes it a $2,000 signature bond. You're to stay away from the 741 Morosco Drive address, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Can you unmute yourself, courtroom 2, for me, please? Mr. Gilbert, you understand you can't go back to that address, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, if you go back there, they're going to arrest you, and I'm not going to let you out next time if you come back before the court, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Gilbert. Is that fine with you good, Ms. Gant?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This is the sub annex. Before you is position 11, Ms. Dana Johnson.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Ms. Johnson, let's see. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
You've been charged in case 22 CR 005279Y with following too closely, driving under the influence of alcohol less safe, and willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
No.
Mr. Dudley.
Your Honor, this incident occurred on August 7th of 2022 at 3510 Roswell Road Northwest. The defendant drove her car unreasonably close to the driver in front of her, and when pulled over, the defendant was determined by Officer W. Demaitre, DEMAITRE, to be driving under the influence of alcohol and over the legal limit. When the officer attempted to bring the defendant into custody, she began passively resisting, dropping her body on the ground, pulling away while being handcuffed, and kicking the patrol car door to avoid being put in the vehicle. Your Honor, the defendant has a speeding offense from Virginia this year of May. She was going 85 into 70. Shows that she also might not have sufficient community ties. The state is concerned. We recommend a $6,000 surety bond with the breakdown of $4,500 for the DUI, $1,000 for the willful obstruction to law enforcement, and $500 for driving too closely. no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond, and no driving without a valid license. Nothing further from the state.
Ms. Kim.
Yes, Your Honor, we would like to request for a signature on bond as pretrial services recommended for unsecured judicial relief. Ms. Dana is 37 years old, and she moved from California to Georgia permanently about 1.5 years ago. And she has a job, and she also is pursuing her bachelor's degree because only 1.5 years is left for her bachelor's degree. She's enrolled in Georgia State University, and she starts her first class on August 22nd. And not only that, she already purchased all the books for the classes. She's fully ready, and that is her ties to the community. She has a she's not a flight risk. She has a ties to the community, and she also has other relatives here in Georgia. We would like to request for signature on bond, and I believe there was a misunderstanding. She says that she was not actually drunken, but that will be next time when she has another trial. So we would like to, that's it, Your Honor.
All right, it's going to be a split bond for the following too closely, a $500 signature bond through the jail. For the obstruction, it's going to be a $500 signature bond through the jail. For the DUI, it's going to be a $1,000 good bond, makes it a total of a $2,000 split bond. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Johnson.
Thank you. May I be excused, Your Honor?
I take it that you don't have anyone else there with you?
No, that's it.
All right, we'll see you next time.
Yes, sir. Bye, everybody.
Who do we have in courtroom 2?
Number 8, Mr. Hall.
Good afternoon, Mr. Hall. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusations calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Hall, you've been charged in case 22 CR 005276G with criminal trespass and damage to property. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Well, total. Last arrest was in January. Trespass, criminal damage to property, terroristic threats, and PI 22 CP 206053. That's a pretrial bond. Before that was June 2021, criminal mischief out of New York City. 2019, criminal possession of a controlled substance. That was a conviction. I'm sorry, that was 2016. The disposition was in 2019. I got another criminal mischief, damage to property from 2016. 2016, criminal in possession of stolen property, reckless endangerment, and resisting officer. 2016, unlawful possession of marijuana, criminal mischief, intent to damage. These are convictions. Failure to obtain transportation from 2016, conviction. You want more?
I'm good. Thank you, Mr. Howard. Ms. Duncan?
Yes, Your Honor, the incidents alleged in this case occurred on yesterday at the Pals Lounge, that's PAL' Lounge, common spelling, located at 254 Auburn Avenue in Atlanta. In this case, Your Honor, the defendant is accused of having damaged the back door to the Pals Lounge. He was told to leave the property after becoming heavily intoxicated. This is an after hours location, so it was around 6 a.m. When he was put out of the establishment, he decided to return, and he was discovered by an on-call worker who had been called in to do additional cleanup to the facility. There is a $1,000 preset surety bond on this case. The state, however, is going to be requesting an increase to a $3,500 surety. The state has an extreme concern in this case about the risk of reoffense, Your Honor. As pretrial stated, he has an open criminal trespass, damage to property in the second, in which he actually received a split bond, which was a $2,500 good, and the rest I'm sorry, that yes, there was a $2,500 good bond, and the rest of the charges were pretrial release on the total bond. We are concerned because it's been less than 7 months since that offense date, which was January of 2022. And we see from his New York history as well that this defendant has a history of convicted offenses for damaging property that does not belong to him. Given those reasons, Your Honor, the state is going to be requesting that bond in addition to a stay away, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and no further violations of Georgia law. He did damage the back door by breaking the lock by hitting it with a piece of wood, I believe. Nothing further from the state.
Ms. Karen.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Joseph Paul is 30 years old. He has been in the Atlanta, Georgia area. He has cousins here, Your Honor. I did reach out to his cousin, Ms. Chantel Walker. I was unable to reach her. He also asked me to call another friend to help with bond. I was unable to reach her. He does not have the means to pay anything toward bond, Your Honor. Mr. Hall completed 9th grade. He went on later to obtain a GED. He is currently employed at Bar Vegan. He has been in this position for 1 month and he is still on probation. He tells me that he missed work Sunday. He's due back today. He is in a housing program and he needs to be released so that he can secure his belongings. Your Honor, he denies the allegations. He's definitely denies being intoxicated voluntarily, Your Honor. I am requesting a signature bond on Mr. Hall's behalf. If Your Honor determines that he is ineligible, I would ask that you leave the bond as set, and we are unopposed to any stay away orders. Thank you.
All right, it's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from Pal's Lounge and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Mr. Hall, I'm going to let you out, but you have to make sure that you show up for your next court date and don't get in any more trouble, all right? You're on mute, courtroom 10. I'm good now. All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Gay.
Thank you. You're welcome, sir.
Number 9, Mr. Harris.
How y'all doing, Your Honor?
I'm doing well, Mr. Harris. I hope you are too. You've been charged in case 22 CR 0052778 with fare evasion. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Yeah, 31 total. You got history out of Alabama, Ohio, and Michigan. Last arrest was in March. Obstruction, driving without a valid license out of Clayton County. He has an open possession of a firearm by a convicted felon out of Clayton. Assault, criminal damage to property in the 2nd degree. Simple assault, obstruction, that's open in Clayton as well. And a felony cruelty. One more?
You're good, thank you. Ms. Duncan?
Yes, Your Honor. In addition to what pretrial has stated, this defendant does have 2 probation revocations from both 2014 and 2019. In this case, the defendant is accused of having entered the Art Center MARTA station location located at 1255 West Peachtree Street in Northwest Atlanta without paying the fare. The state here has a concern about flight risk, given that this defendant is wanted for failure to appear at this time, and additionally wanted for weapons offenses and has current open charges, Your Honor. The state is going to be requesting that the preset $500 surety bond remain as set and that this defendant stay away from the Art Center MARTA station and have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons or further violations of Georgia law. Nothing further from the state.
All right, it's going to be a $1,000 signature bond through the jail and to abide by any MARTA suspensions, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Mr. Harris, I'm going to let you out, but if you don't show back up for your next court hearing, they're going to put a warrant out for you, okay?
I need help with
Mr. Harris, I'm going to enter the consult for you, please. Remain silent. We don't want you to jeopardize your case.
I am.
All right, is that satisfactory with you, Ms. Gant?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Harris.
And number 13, Mr. Mitchell.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mitchell. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Mitchell. You've been charged in case 22 CR 005281J with driving under the influence of alcohol under the age of 21, reckless driving, and driving under the influence of alcohol less safe. Is there a history, Mr. Howard? Was that a no? I'm sorry.
First arrest.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Johnson?
Thank you, Your Honor. This incident occurred on August 9th, 2022 at the Tony's Bar and Grill, that location being 10305 Medlock Bridge Road in Johns Creek, Georgia. The defendant was observed driving at a high rate of speed doing donuts in the parking lot at the incident location. He went across the parking lot and began to return in the other direction. The bar was open for business and patrons were present along with other vehicles in the parking lot. He left markings on the concrete. When the officer made contact with the defendant, a strong odor of alcohol was noted and a bottle of alcohol with half of its contents was seen behind the driver's seat. The driver was tested and found to be intoxicated. Your Honor, the state does have concerns that Mr. Mitchell does present risk to the public and to himself. For that reason, the state will be asking for a $4,500 split bond. That would be $3,000 surety on the DUI, $1,000 surety on the reckless, and $1,000 signature on the DUI less safe. I'd also ask for a stay away from the incident location, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and no driving.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Mitchell is 19 years old, Your Honor, and he was born and raised here in Georgia. He's a single and his parents reside here. He's full-time student at Mercer University. He is studying for computer science, and he's also working as a server at the local restaurant. We would like to request for a signature on bond. He is recommended by pretrial services for unsecured judicial relief. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, for the DUI under 21, it's going to be a $2,000 good bond. For the reckless, a $1,000 good bond. For the DUI less safe, a $500 good bond, makes for a total of a $3,500 good bond. Stay away from the Medlock Bridge Road address, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck.
Your Honor.
Thank you.
And this is number 14, Mr. Muhammad.
Hi, how you doing, Your Honor?
I'm doing well, Mr. Muhammad. Let's see, you've been charged in case 22 CR 005282J with theft by shoplifting. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Ninth arrest. Last arrest was back in March. Probation for terrorist threats. Ag assault in a public transit vehicle. He got an open carry and concealed weapon, possession of a firearm by first offender probation, theft by receiving. It's in Superior Court. They left off a case number. It's 22 SP 189 something. But he's on probation for the ag assault in a public transit vehicle. 21 SC 178074. They gave him 5 years probation last year. November 2021, theft by receiving, possession of a firearm by convicted felon, carrying weapon without a valid license. What else we got? The ag assault was 2021. 2019, criminal damage to property. That was out of the city of South Fulton. 2019, possession of drug-related objects, misdemeanor possession of marijuana, pled nolo. 2018, battery DV, trespass, terrorist threats, robbery by sudden snatch, obstruction. That was on Martyr. And a 2016 ag assault DV arrest.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Howard. Mr. Dudley?
Yes, Your Honor, this incident took place on June 20th of 2022 at the corner market at 3332 Colville Ave in Hateville. The defendant entered the victim's Raju Daradia. The spelling for that is Raudaredia. He entered his corner store and placed multiple items in his backpack. The defendant then left the corner store without paying. The victim reported this incident to police and provided video footage of the defendant putting the items in his backpack and leaving without paying. The victim made note that the defendant has done this numerous times, but this is just the first time that he's actually reported him. As pretrial made mention of, the defendant has prior criminal history involving theft. And as the store owner noted that he's done it many times before, the state has a concern for a risk of reoffense. We recommend a $1,000 surety bond, stay away from incident location, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond. Nothing further from the state.
Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Muhammad is 24 years old, and he was born and raised here in Georgia, native Georgia. He has 2 children, Your Honor, and also he's married. He is working for 2 jobs. He works at Irish Pub and Pete Bosses to do a lot of work to take care of his mom and 2 kids and his wife. And then they're also expecting another one coming. So his education was 10th grade, and he is currently still going to Atlanta Tech to complete his GED. There was $1,000 bond, and yet we would like to request for signature on bond because his finance situation is very, very tight right now with his 2 children and upcoming baby. Thank you, Your Honor.
Does he have a job, Ms. Kim?
Yes, he has 2 jobs right now, Irish Pub restaurants and Pete Bosses. And I do not know exactly what Pete Bosses do, what he does at the Pete Bosses.
Okay, it's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from the corner market in Hateville, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. You know, Mr. Muhammad, I'm going to let you out so that you can go back to working and take care of your children, but you're going to have to make sure to show up for your next hearing. Otherwise, they're going to put a warrant out for you, okay? All right, good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Ain't that song on here?
Look, you know.
We done?
Now, courtroom 2.
Francois, you muted.
Hey, Judge, I'm sorry. I just walked back in the courtroom and Miss Cassandra Crocker, she's asking if she could change her pro se and just talk to a public defender, and would still like to be seen today.
Is there an
She can. I think she's going to the competency calendar. So. So she already has a bond, and she already has been given the opportunity. So she'll be, and I believe that she is getting a mental health evaluation. So she'll be back on the calendar.
I'm not getting a mental
So nothing's gonna change with her today. Okay.
You hear that, Ms. Crocker? They never ordered a mental health on me. All right, Ms. Crocker, the judge already made his ruling. He said, no, cannot be. I can't even get on.
All right.
Come have a seat so the judge can explain it to you, Ms. Crocker. Okay, here she is.
Okay, so we've already addressed your case, Ms. Crocker. Your case was also addressed yesterday.
Wait, Your Honor, can I say one thing? When I
Ms.
have a
Crocker.
feeding tube, I have a feeding tube that the jail can't even take care of. They've already told me that. They've already transported me once to Grady. I actually have 2 jobs that I work as well. And I've already gone through mental health evaluations already, please. I'm asking, can I please talk to a public defender again? Please.
Yes, I'm happy to give you the opportunity to talk to a public defender. If you want someone to represent you at your next hearing, I'm happy to have you do that. No, Ms. Crocker, it's not gonna happen today, okay?
Right, but again, $10,000, I can't even afford that. My mother, the address of the criminal trespass is from an assisted living facility where my mom's at. We don't have the money for that.
Okay, hold on, Ms. Crocker. Who was representing her yesterday, Ms. Kim?
Miss Wanda Gantz.
So, Ms. Gant, if she wants to speak with you regarding this matter, I'm happy to let her speak with you. It won't be, the decision is going, she's gonna have to have a mental health evaluation, so I don't know how anything is gonna change, but if you would speak with her regarding her case, the court would be, that would be very helpful for the court, okay?
Well, Your Honor, if I may, I did not have any concerns about Ms. Crocker's competency. Let's start there. I'm happy to represent her on your order. I do have information from her from yesterday, so I don't even need to interview her. I'm ready to proceed now with your Honor's order.
Ms. Falk, do you want to chime in here?
Yes, Your Honor. I understand that Ms. Gant does not have any concerns, but Judge Mincy did. And that's after having observed and having getting an opportunity to speak with Ms. Crocker for an extended amount of time. And so based on that, our recommendation remains the same, which is MHET, based on my observations yesterday and based on Judge Mincy's observations yesterday.
Okay, hold on for me just for one moment. Okay.
Ian, what is that in reference to?
That's not number 2. That was number 3.
All right, so, well, my hands are tied at this point because there has been an order signed by another judge ordering a mental health evaluation. So that is, will be entered and that will be abided by. All right, so I don't see that there's anything further that the court can do for today. All right, so thank you, courtroom 2. We still have 3 people on our calendar for today that we need to handle.
I didn't do the calendar today. Let me see. Oh, Matthews, hey, you could get 3 more people. Okay, come on, Ms. Crawford.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Ms. Gant.
Yeah, who we missing?
We are missing position number 2, Billings, position 6, Davis, and position 10, no, and position 12, Livingston.
And I have 2 waivers, so actually
Okay.
only bringing 1 more in.
So what are the waivers?
Position 12, Your Honor.
10 and 12?
2 and 12 waived.
2 and 12 are
And I have the waivers.
okay. So we still need, I guess, position 6. So let's go ahead, while our courtroom 2 is getting us position 6, let's go ahead and do Mr. Billings. Who's presenting for Mr. Billings, position number 2?
I am.
Okay, is there a history, Mr. Howard?
35 total. He has an open terrorist threats, 22 SC 182 216. Judge Dunaway. Oh, let me see the last arrest. Last was 2021, obstruction and battery. One was conviction, one was NOLO, based on the notes. 2020 probation. Underlying charge was theft by taking. Another 2020 probation, theft by taking. Simple assault, family violence, 2014. 2013 trespass conviction. Probation violation for ag stalking. 2012 FTA for ag stalking.
Okay, that's good, Mr. Howard. Thank you. Ms. Duncan?
Your Honor, yes, in addition to what pretrial has stated, I did note a additional open case 05 CP 30365 for aggravated stalking. This defendant is confirmed as wanted for aggravated assault as well. In this case, Your Honor, the defendant was a passenger in a car that was involved in an altercation or an incident with officers outside of an Exxon gas station located at 568 Chapel Road Northwest. Officers were flagged down and the persons in the front and passenger seats of the car, there was a firearm visible. The people in the car were asked to get out of the car, and upon doing a pat down for further weapons, the officer discovered a glass pipe in the front in the front rear pocket of the defendant in this case. In addition, when the defendant in this case was asked to identify himself, he gave the name to officers Domicia Billings, that's Domecia. And after further investigation, officers determined that the defendant's real name is in fact Evaruel. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, but that's Evariuel Billings. That is the basis for the charges here today. We have a concern about the risk of reoffense. This defendant has violence and drug charges as well as arrest. Seems to be unresponsive to the legal process, given that there are several probation violations, and we also have a concern for flight risk in this case, given that this defendant is currently wanted. This defendant is currently being held without bond. The state is going to be requesting a $1,000 surety bond. That is $500 surety per charge. We're going to ask that the defendant stay away from that Exxon gas station located at 568 Chapel Road Northwest. That the defendant have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and being that he is a convicted felon, and that there be no further violations of Georgia law. Nothing further from the state.
Okay, it seems like he has bigger fish to fry. It's going to be $1,000 signature bond through the jail on each charge, which makes it a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from the Exxon on Chapel Road, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Does that suit you, Ms. Gant?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay. Position 12 is also a waiver, is that correct?
Yes.
And whose client
Yes,
is-
Your Honor. It is mine, Your Honor.
Okay, and who's presenting? Mr. Dudley?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Third arrest.
Oh,
Last was 2009 aggravated assault. It was not presented to grand jury. 2008 trespass damage. Criminal trespass. They were NOD.
Is that it?
That's it.
Okay, Mr. Dudley?
yes, Your Honor. One second here. Okay, this incident took place on July 15th of 2022, where the defendant had a mental episode while at the victim, Miss Rhonda Livingston's home, RONDA LIVINGSTON, after which the defendant used a large stone to break the toilet bowl and the mirror in the family's bathroom. The defendant is the son of the victim, Miss Rhonda, and we were able to get in contact with Miss Rhonda, and she informed us that the defendant did live at the residence. However, she stated that the rental office took the defendant's name off of the lease and does not want him back on the property. She also informed us that the defendant has bipolar issues and schizophrenia issues.
Please.
Okay. Ms. Kim doesn't want you placing that on the record.
Not on the record, Your Honor.
May we have a breakout, Your Honor?
Well, I already know it now, so I think that that covers it.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mr. Dudley.
And Your Honor, based on the circumstances of this case, the state recommends a $1,000 surety bond, no further contact, a stay away from the incident location, no alcohol, drugs, or weapon, and MHET. Nothing further from the state.
Okay, so Miss Rhonda Livingston, that's the mother?
Yes, Your Honor.
So I know that the apartment complex doesn't want him there, but does the mother want contact with him?
Your Honor, through contact with her, we weren't able to establish whether she does or she doesn't. I believe the most thing she wants is him to be able to get help.
Okay, I understand. And how did you find out that the apartment complex did not want him there?
The mother informed us.
Okay, so somebody did talk to the mother.
Yes. We weren't able to establish whether or not she wanted that contact with him, but the underlying issue is that she wanted him to seek help.
Okay. I'm sorry, I'm a bit confused. So does the mother want contact with her son?
Your Honor, I had a chance to talk to her mother.
Okay.
She said no.
She doesn't want contact?
No.
Okay, so that makes it simple. That's the only thing that I was worried about. Thank you, Mr. Dudley. Ms. Kim. Anything further, Mr. Dudley?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Pretrial services recommended for unsecured judicial relief. So we would like to request for a signature on bond. And he has been here in Georgia and he does have a disability. And yet this is his first, the last one that he had was 2009, Your Honor. We would like to request for signature on bond. And I think just to make sure that if his mother is not a psychiatrist, so I don't think that should be mentioned like that. That was not appropriate. Yeah, that's it, Your Honor. Thank you.
Yeah, he wasn't recommended. My papers,
He wasn't?
Yeah, it's a refused interview on my bond assessment.
Okay, so it's going to be $1,000 signature bond through the jail. No further contact with Rhonda Livingston. Stay away from the incident location, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, could you say that bond again?
$1,000 signature bond through the jail.
Okay, thank you. And there's no MHET on this one?
Well,
I don't think it's necessary, Your Honor, at this
no one
point.
requested an MHET.
Actually, we did. Miss ASG Dudley did request an MHET at the end of his
I can do a
recommendation.
social worker visit to have a behavioral health evaluation, BHET, and then let them decide if they need MHET.
Okay, a social worker visit to Mr. Livingston. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I believe that Ms. Gant notified us that she is interviewing position number 6. So Ms. Kim, if we can go over the calendar now, and if Ms. Gant needs it, if you would go over it with her at a later time. Is that possible?
Ms. Gann is on the phone with Darius Davis right now.
Okay, right. So I wanted to go over the calendar with everyone while we're waiting on that.
I got a question. What happened with Jonathan Cooley? He was on the pool.
Transferred to felony.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, would you all like to go over the calendar?
Yes.
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 Okay.
Good afternoon. Once again, the reset date for the SAP calendar is going to be August the 23rd. Position number 1 is going to the SAP calendar with a total $1,500 good bond. Position 2 is reset further notice with a $2,000 total SOB through the jail. Position 3 is reset further notice with a $5,000 SOB through pretrial per judge. Position 4, reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 5 is going to the competency calendar with a $10,000 good bond. Position 6, we're waiting on. Position 7 is reset further notice with a $2,000 total SOB through the jail. Position 8 is reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through the jail. Position 9 is reset further notice with a $1,000 SOB through the jail. Position 10, reset further notice with a $3,000 total SOB through pretrial. Position 11 is reset to the SAP calendar with a $2,000 total split bond. Position 12, reset further notice with a $1,000 SOB through the jail. Position 13 is reset to the SAP calendar with a total $3,500 good bond. Position 14, reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through the jail. Position 15 is going to the SAP calendar with a total $3,000 good bond. Position 16, reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 17, reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through the jail. Position 18 is reset to the SAP calendar with a $2,000 total good bond. Position 19 is going to the SAP calendar with a $2,000 good bond. Position 20 going to the SAP calendar with a $3,000 total good bond. And position 21 is reset to the SAP calendar with a $2,000 good bond. Any questions?
Number 2 again?
Number 2 is reset further notice with a total $2,000 SOB through the jail.
And what are the conditions for position 8?
Conditions for position 8 are to stay away from the 741 Morosco Drive, no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or firearms. No, I'm sorry, that's the wrong number. Reset further notice and to stay away from the Pals Lounge, 254 Auburn Avenue, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or firearms.
Thank you.
In position 18, I had a $3,000 surety bond.
On position 18, I have it as charge 1, a $500 good bond, charge 2, a $500 good bond, and on charge 3, $1,000 good bond, making it a total of a $2,000 good bond.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Let's see, this is Mr. Davis. Can you unmute courtroom too, please? Yes. Good afternoon, Mr. Davis. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yeah.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 22 CR 005274A with simple battery against a police officer or correctional.
Mr. Darius, please remain silent.
All right. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
This is 5th arrest. Last arrest was in January for trespass. May 2021, simple battery. 2019, trespass. Misdemeanor terrorist threats out of the cab. 2013, trespass. That's it.
Okay. Who's presenting for the state?
I am, Your Honor.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Dudley.
This incident took place yesterday, August 8th, 2022 at the MARTA of 216 Peachtree Street. The victim, Vaughn F. Samuel, common spelling, a MARTA police officer, told the defendant to leave the MARTA station. The defendant proceeded to spit on Mr. Samuel. And as pretrial has pointed out, the defendant had an arrest for simple battery. He was actually convicted of simple battery in 2021. And here he is again in court for simple battery again against the MARTA police officer, no less. So the state does have a concern of reoffense. We recommend a $1,000 surety bond and stay away from incident location and no alcohols, drugs, or weapons while out on bond. Nothing further from the state.
Thank you. Ms. Gant.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Darius Davis is 28 years old. He has been in the Atlanta, Georgia area his entire life. He has his grandmother here who is his payee. He is disabled and has been so since age 14. He is of limited means. He does not really have anything to pay anything toward bond, Your Honor. Mr. Davis completed ninth grade. He has never worked. Today, we are denying the allegations, and I'm requesting a signature bond. If Your Honor determines that he is ineligible, I would ask that you leave the bond as set, and we are unopposed to the stay away. Thank you, Your Honor.
Does he live with his mother, Ms. Gant?
He is homeless. I'm sorry, he is residentially challenged. He states that he has the ability to live with her, and I do have a mailing address if you would like for me to put that in the chat.
Okay, I would like for him to have a social worker visit. It's gonna be a $500 good bond. If you can have a social worker speak with them, stay away from the incident location, 216 Peachtree Street, the MARTA station, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
All right, thank you, Your Honor. And you, are you requesting that update as well at the next SAP if he's unable to bond out?
Yes, please, Ms. Gann, if you will have someone make that announcement for me.
All right, I will enter BHET. Thank you.
Okay, good luck to you, sir.
How much was that?
500. All right, courtroom 2, I believe that we are done for the day.
Okay. See you tomorrow.
All right. So I understand that there's a kickball game that's going to be going on today. Is that right? No?
I don't know nothing about it.
Yesterday. I'm not sure. I thought it was today.
Is it a secret? I mean,
No. I think so.
all right. Y'all have a good afternoon.
You do the same.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye, yeah.